Right now at noon, a local food truck operator talks about handling the intense heat while working.
And even though we've got some cloud cover, some of us still pretty toasty out there. Scattered storms out to the west. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, the Oklahoma Attorney General gives his thoughts on the authority of the state superintendent to decide the content of school curriculums.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, the summer weather is creating even hotter kitchens in food trucks. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. Food truck workers at Ghetto Tacos in Joplin say the heat is manageable as long as it's being pushed out by split air conditioning units. The co-owner says they originally worked from a tent instead of a food truck, and now 7 years later, Ghetto Tacos has a fleet of trucks and even a brick and mortar restaurant in Webb City with proper air conditioning.
We started under a tent and we used to push our cooker, and we had a trailer where we pull it all down, and then it was like 500, I don't know, it was really heavy. It took 3 people just to lift it.
Ghetto Tacos was featured on the Food Network's TV show Best Bite in Town in April. Joplin Public Schools are offering free summer meal services at the Joplin Public Library every day through August 13th. Their goal is to help kids in need avoid food insecurity during the summer when students don't have access to daily school lunch. They will be serving lunches such as sandwiches and chips, and students must be 18 or under, though they don't have to attend a Joplin school to qualify for the free meal.
The last day of school might be their last meal that they receive for a while because of the absence of school lunch. So that's why we partner with the library to come here. We partner with Joplin Family Y as well.
Lunches at the Joplin Public Library will be served from 11 a.m. to 11:30 or while supplies last. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start with a quick look at yesterday, just for those statistic keepers out there. We started the day at 76, made it up to 99, 10 degrees above normal, and just shy of a record high that was set back in 1954. We have heat advisories in the southern half of our area through the evening hours, where heat index values down there could still potentially reach 110 degrees. Elsewhere, though, a 100 to 105 degree range is possible. Quick look outside, 85 in Joplin, 88 in Neosho, cloudy in both locations. Now, we've seen rain and cloud cover fairly consistent across parts of southeast Kansas, so a little cooler, and we mentioned that this morning. We've kind of got a 3-zone area of temperatures as we go through today based on the rain and the cloud cover. We'll continue with the mostly cloudy skies, scattered showers, storms, and those will continue to roll through the area as we go through the overnight hours. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible later today, tonight, and then again for the 4th of July. We'll have a full look at that forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a new report shows traffic fatalities have increased by 25% nationwide over the past 10 years. But over the past 2 years, fatalities have dropped by 5%. In this area, Arkansas has seen the biggest drop in fatalities, down 12% from 2021 to 2023. In Oklahoma, they're down 9% over those 2 years. And in Kansas, fatalities are down 8%. In Missouri, just 2%. The Transportation Research Group TRIP highlights some efforts to reduce crashes, including educating drivers about dangerous habits, making vehicles safer, and improving roadway designs. Well, a new twist in Oklahoma's Bibles in School debate, as the Oklahoma State Attorney General says the state superintendent does not have the legal authority to decide what is taught in public schools. Last week, State Superintendent Ryan Walter said teachers must teach from the Bible. But now the AG's office says in an email that superintendent does not have legal authority to decide content of curriculum, and says Oklahoma law clearly enshrines local control. One Oklahoma school board member had this to say.
We're going to make decisions as a school board, not myself personally, but as a board, of what kind of curriculum and what kind of things students are going to be using in the classroom.
Superintendent Walter says they will mandate the curriculum regardless of the Attorney General's thoughts. Authorities say a police officer in Oklahoma is recovering after being shot yesterday. Police arrived at a home in Oklahoma City to find a man holding a gun to someone's head. The man barricaded himself inside the home with 2 women and 3 children. Authorities say during a standoff, an officer was struck by gunfire from inside the home. Officers returned fire and the suspect was shot.
An officer was able to discharge his firearm, striking the suspect. The suspect was determined to be deceased here at the scene. Officers were able to go into the house and get everyone out that was inside that house, determined that they are all okay at this time.
The officer who was shot was taken to a nearby hospital and is doing well after undergoing surgery. Well, in Springfield, a domestic violence hotline recently answered its 100,000th call. The hotline started in 1978, and for nearly 50 years, it's been a vital resource for people in need. Chris Bryan has more from the Harmony House.
The hotline started in 1978, and over the last 46 years, those 100,000 calls averages more than 2,100 per year.
One of the messages we always convey is that if you or someone you know is going through an abusive situation, please call us. We want to talk to you. Even if shelter isn't what you need right now, that's just one piece of what Harmony House provides to the community. So having someone to talk to, having an advocate that's trained to listen and ask the right questions and help you through that situation, wherever you are in that situation, that's what we want people to do.
The hotline is answered 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Harmony House has seen a 30% increase in calls year after year.
And finding that way to connect that resource to others, whether it's having businesses promote that, it's promoted in schools, it's promoted on the internet now. I think with the evolution of obviously communication tools that are available to everybody, awareness has grown, and so the calls have grown. So I think you'd see much smaller numbers leading up to the last 10 to 15 years even.
Jared Alexander is the executive director of Harmony House. He says improvements with communication and advocacy have helped increase the public's knowledge of the hotline and connecting those in need with resources available.
We all know somebody that is going through this right now, and having the awareness of where the resources like Harmony House exist and how you can connect those people that you love to those resources, that's the most important piece.
Harmony House services and programs are free and confidential.
There's also a nationwide helpline for people dealing with domestic violence. You can call 1-800-799-7233 anytime, any day. Well, coming up, President Joe Biden is set to meet with Democratic governors at the White House this evening amid concerns over his political future. And later, we're making pushcart onion sauce in the Mr. Food test kitchens. President Biden is set to meet with the Democratic governors at the White House this evening amid growing pressure about his political future following his poor performance in last week's debate. It comes as the new CBS News national poll shows a shift in likely voters' choice for president. Skylar Henry reports from Washington, D.C.
The Biden-Harris campaign insisted Wednesday that polls show a steady race amid fallout from President Biden's poor debate performance.
Joe Biden is our nominee. We beat Trump once, and we're going to beat him again, period.
A new CBS News poll conducted after Thursday's debate shows the presumptive nominees still functionally tied nationally, but a shift towards former President Trump. The previous poll had President Biden leading slightly and also with an edge in battleground states. Biden is now behind, though still within the margin of error.
The president cannot make the kind of effort that we need in these closing days to prevent Trump and his gang from taking over.
On Tuesday, Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett became the first Democratic lawmaker to publicly call on Biden to step aside following the debate debacle. At a fundraiser in Virginia last night, the president blamed his performance on jet lag, saying, quote, "I decided to travel around the world a couple of times shortly before the debate. I didn't listen to my staff, and then I almost fell asleep on stage."
If we finally beat Medicare.
But Biden returned to D.C. 11 days before the debate, and the White House press secretary offered a different explanation.
The president had a cold. He had a cold and a bad night.
While the president tries to do damage control, former President Trump is counting a win in the New York courts. Sentencing in his hush money conviction has been postponed following Monday's Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Trump's sentencing was supposed to be next week, right before the Republican National Convention. It's now delayed until September. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
I don't know what you're planning on wearing tomorrow, but I do have a pretty good idea on how to dress up your hot dog.
I'm so sorry. We are tracking thunderstorm chances across the area, and that does, of course, include possibility of severe weather tonight and tomorrow evening. We'll have a look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So a number of us have been dealing with cloudy skies out there. However, as you head west into southeast Kansas, we're dealing more with showers and some rumbles of thunder. Now, the good news is we haven't seen anything too crazy out there as of yet, but we're getting a good dose of rain. Drought Tracker has been showing just some abnormally dry, nothing significant yet, but we kind of had a lull in rain activity. This is starting to make up for that, and you can see it again spread all across southeast Kansas. And that's why I was saying, too, we're going to have that 3 zones of temperatures today. We're going to have highs into the upper 80s, maybe some low 90s, highs into the mid 90s where there's cloud cover but not as much rain, and then we get the upper 90s where there's no rain and almost no cloud cover. All of this part of this big system out here, and we've got a frontal boundary that's kind of stalled out, which is why right now all of this activity is lifting northeast but is not really moving outside of that. This frontal boundary, though, will eventually begin to shift a little to the south and east, which means all those rain showers will follow suit with it. Our severe threat for today, we do have that low hail risk, and we still have a low to elevated wind risk. Now, since this morning, the elevated risk has just been expanded a little further north and south than what it was. And this is as we head mainly into this evening, and this frontal boundary actually starts to move, because what we've got is we've got all this warm, moist air that's untapped out into the southeast, while all this rain's been kind of sucking up the energy in parts of southeastern Kansas. As this frontal boundary does gradually make its way to the south and east, it will be able to tap into some of that extra energy that's kind of pent up out here, and that's what's going to trigger those additional showers and thunderstorms as we head later into this evening and into the overnight hours. And again, some of these could be strong to low-grade severe across the area. Then scattered thunderstorms continue Thursday morning. Now, this particular model data does not show that same thunderstorm complex that we've been seeing, but I'm going to tell you, other data still suggests we are looking at that thunderstorm complex in that same zone that could produce some damaging wind gusts around 2 o'clock in the morning, rolling through the area and exiting by about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to keep a close eye on that tonight into tomorrow morning for you. We're going to start our Thursday early with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Then those will clear out. And aside from a few isolated showers, it is going to be hot and dry for the most of the 4th until another frontal boundary starts to push into the area from the northwest, and that's going to start to trigger additional showers and thunderstorms as well along that boundary as we head into the evening. There's still some disagreements on the exact timing of this line of storms, and that's going to play a big role on any kind of impact on fireworks plans. But right now, the biggest message is it's still looking to kind of dampen things by the time you'd be setting off fireworks, and some of these storms could be strong to severe as well, with large hail and damaging winds. And as you can see, some of the newer updates, we had these storms out of here maybe by 11. Now they're kind of carrying on until about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning before we start to see them clear out. So that's why for tomorrow we have that elevated risk. Now it's shifted. It's now a little further to the east. It's clipped just a low risk for parts of Kansas, and then it's extended a little further south. So it's again some of what we're going to have to keep an eye on. Quick reminder again, heat advisories through late this evening for our southern counties. Heat index values down there upwards of 110. A quick check of temperatures, 85 in Joplin, feels like 91. We've been seeing the clouds from the rain out west. Not really getting much outside of that, though. Where the rain has been, a little cooler, upper 70s, low 80s. Where the rain has not been, considerably warmer. And, of course, that's put those heat index values, I mean, take a look down south, already pushing close to 100. So we're still looking at that kind of that triple dividing point of temperatures across the area based on rain and clouds, just clouds, and then no clouds. We're going to go upper 90s tomorrow, and then that cold front does cool us back briefly into Friday, and we see thunderstorm chances and the heat return as we head into next week.
Oof, tomorrow does not look fun.
It does not, and unfortunately, again, these storms, bad timing on their part, right where we're supposed to be setting off fireworks across the area.
All righty, thanks, Chris. We'll stick around. We're making pushcart onion sauce in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard is showing us how to make pushcart onion sauce in the Mr. Food Test kitchen.
Can you believe that tomorrow, on the 4th, Americans will eat more than 150 million hot dogs? To help you visualize that, Imagine if you started laying hot dogs end to end, starting in Washington, D.C. You could go to Los Angeles and back 5 times. That's crazy. And when it comes to topping our dogs, the options are almost endless. Of course, there are some top contenders for the most popular. You know, mustard, ketchup, relish, and chopped onions. But the big question is, what's your favorite combo of these? Then there are the second-tier toppings, which to me are sauerkraut, chili, and cheese. After that, things can get a little creative. Some people like to dress up their dogs with everything from salsa or sriracha to chopped pineapple or even crushed potato chips. One of my personal favorites is a tomatoey onion sauce that you often find at hot dog carts on the streets of New York. It's basically onions that are cooked down with some ketchup, chili powder, cinnamon, salt, and hot sauce. It's simple, but the combo of flavors makes this a hands-down winner. One bite is all it takes for you to know exactly what I'm talking about. To get the recipe for this classic pushcart onion sauce, simply visit our website today. That way, you'll be ready for tomorrow. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a hot diggity dog way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, scattered thunderstorms continuing for us today. Some of those could be strong to severe this evening. Morning storms tomorrow, hot during the day. And then unfortunately in that 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. window, we're looking at another round of strong to severe thunderstorms. So definitely need to stay weather aware for the next 24 hours or so.
Definitely some rain on the parade tomorrow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And Dow, what do you have for us tonight?
Lots coming up at 5. For starters, according to research from the American Cancer Society, Black women are more likely than other women to die of cancer, regardless of the stage of cancer when diagnosed. It's part of the reason why it's launched a groundbreaking initiative aimed at understanding why Black women have increasingly high rates of cancer. Plus, an update on damage at the Jasper County Courthouse after a pipe burst in the winter, causing extensive water damage. And kids go on a high-flying adventure with drones at the Chanute Public Library. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dow. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.